With another go-kart update. I just want to show you what I did here with the valve cover. Nice matte black, heat resistant. I also did that to the same thing with the crankcase cover. Nice matte black, just to make it look a little bit better instead of this cast aluminum, or it could be steel. Hell, I don't know. But this actually, the way I welded it, you can pound this back and forth and tension that chain, and it still stays in place. You know, it still spins freely. It's not nearly eating away as bad as the other makeshift chain tensioner. I also wanted to show you, I've been making, here, we're not going to look at this fucking mess. I'll point the camera outwards, but I'm trying to look for this. Well, you know, if this wasn't, oh, it's right here. Okay. So if you can see this little intake, and it would go, take these screws off, and those little metal inserts, you pull those out, they just press right out of the plastic, and use those as spacers. But this fits on right here, and the air filter goes right on top of the screw with the wing nut, goes on top. Similar design as what you got going here. That focus. So you kind of see where that's going into play. But this causes too much back pressure, and now it's not because of the hole, because the hole's fine. It's just because I have it bent out up in a 45. Kind of disappointed about that. I mean, you still get decent airflow with this, so can't use this, unfortunately. I also took off the other exhaust because I am painting it, or was painting it, of course, matte black. Matte black's becoming my favorite color, but I need to clean it up more. It doesn't look as sexy as what it could be. So that's right off the back. Oh, by the way, I also changed the seat out. This it was a workout bench, and now I just welded that on and have a seat, so it looks much cleaner. These are a little tacky cutted, but these are neoprene pads. You can use as mouse pads or whatever, but I went ahead and cut squares because this sheet metal was vibrating like a motherfucker. So with that to dampen the sound, it's not nearly as bad as what it was. So that humming noise whenever you take off is not nearly as bad. I went ahead and added some electronics here. We got a Bear Claw LED, super bright. I mean, these don't get any brighter. I wonder if this battery has any juice in it. I have a 12 volt 10,000 milliamp lithium polymer right there, just to supply me some power. Let me disconnect this real quick and hook it up here. Well, there's some juice. Look at that. That battery's dead because I used it all in the little boombox I got right there. But Jesus, these are ultra bright at night. I mean, the whole road is illuminated. I just need to get some sick tail lights. But yes, have a little boombox, two little kickers. I mean, they're no bigger than that. Pretty nice. Nice for blasting music as I'm cruising down the road. Steering's much smoother. I went ahead and greased all my wear points. There, and the steering spindle. I also, on the last update, I was using, they're screws similar to this, zinc coated, but they're a little longer. They're 1/4 inch. Did not last long at all. The actual nut itself bent up and caused a massive amount of camber on the wheels as what they originally were before. So I was like, okay, screw this, and I went ahead and picked up a hardened steel shaft, same diameter with these bearings, and threaded the outside, and using these lock nuts, nylon tipped nuts, so I don't have to worry about these bending or breaking anytime soon. What's cool with the headlights though is I had foot pegs, and I just took a piece of square stock and slid it right on, lined it up, and sure enough, now I have the lights mounted. So lights are a cool addition to how it looks. It's pretty sick. With that big office chair gone, it feels like a go-kart. It feels pretty fast, pretty quick, pretty peppy. And I know I could remove the governor, but for us, safety speaking, because with the way my throttle's hooked up, it gets caught sometimes. Not like caught to hold the throttle, but it's not as smooth as what it could be, only because I'm using two springs, very tensioned. and that is a janky bike lever for the throttle control. But I mean, you can get a linkage kit, but I don't want to do that. Hell, I'll just make one. I'll machine one with my CNC. Soon to be CNC, actually. You know, just removing the governors and something I'm game for. Who knows what'll happen? Blow a connecting rod, shear the piston, the valves become unseated. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that could happen to this motor, because this motor was like 170 bucks and very cheap. It's a clone. Oh, I also wanted to add it, my bad, when I took this valve cover off, I added a Dyno super cam is what I'm going to call it. It's a metal camshaft, metal gear, metal everything. I replaced that with that stupid nylon gear. Let's see if I have it over here. It's a mess. I don't think so. I think I threw it away. But when I took it out and replaced the oil, I picked up Pennzoil high mileage. There's an oil filter. There's also a what is that called? Oil pump and pressure sensor built in the actual crankcase itself. But man, okay, so my next log, I'm gonna pull this motor out again and I'm gonna show you the dyno cam. Pretty sick. So I have approximately 10 millimeters of lift extra on those valves. So it's pretty nice. Got a Hemi head and a higher valve lift. Pretty excited about that. I have the stock exhaust on here only because it is really loud, ridiculously loud with that custom exhaust. I mean, it sounds bitchin' with that exhaust, but you get a lot of head turns, and I'm not really sure if people are comfortable with hearing this this motor bitch like that. So it's more so on the terms to speak of, let's try to be friends with everybody and let's not ruin their ears. It looks very greasy on a side note, kind of only because I've been lubing this chain with WD-40, and the amount of friction that the chain generates just completely eats away this mercury grease I got going on here. Valvoline. I'm going to call it mercury grease because I originally got it for my Mercury. Sitting out there. That's another project car. So that's what I got with this thing. As of right now, while we're back here again, I rerouted this, what is this called? The dump for the fuel tank if the gas overpressurizes, I guess the pressure release. I rerouted this instead of having to go through this, and it's just a hassle. It's just easier for me to remove this cover. I heard people drilling out holes in this to actually have like a forced induction, but I mean, if you think about it, I have a seat here, so what kind of airflow is going to be going right here? And if you have it back here, I mean, what's the point? You know, air is going this way, it's not going this way, so it's not going to go inside through this way. I mean, an alternative would be to have a pipe that routes it over here and swing around right here, right in the open, but that's just more pipe and more back pressure, and that's something I do not need. If anything, I just need to redesign the intake and have a pipe come straight out. No bends, no nothing, just redesign that intake pipe I got going on. And for a while, I was actually running this without the cap. I didn't really notice the difference, but I will say the only difference I do notice whenever I do change is the exhaust. Not only in loudness but peppiness, because this is literally a 1/2 inch diameter pipe connecting from the exhaust on the flange, and that is a 1 inch. So I mean, there's a huge difference there, and this muffler is pretty much choking the motor as is. So that's pretty much it. Stay tuned in this video if you want to see me ride around real quick, but other than that, in the next video I'll go ahead and take apart the motor and I'll show you all the upgrades I've personally done to it. And yeah, so let's get riding, shall we? Just gotta let her warm up. But this is exactly why I've been using WD-40. I don't have any rubber grommets in place for the motor, so it's going to vibrate the metal as much as possible. Especially this thing right here. This gets vibrated a lot. And right now you're hearing the seat. The seat's vibrating. Make sure my camera didn't get all full of WD-40. Alright. Last time I handled it. Okay, cool. Oh. I get on it. She wants to die. That's funny. Alright, I apologize if it's a bit rough, but here we go. Much quieter, right? I'm telling you, man, the last thing I need to change is, well, actually there's two things. It's not only the motor mount, but the chain tensioner, because it's janky. But it's better than the last revision of the janky chain tensioner. I'm not even flooring it, I'm cruising up that speed. So, I'll have to show you, the last time I floated, I popped my master link and I completely destroyed it. Too much torque, man, from that motor. Oh, man. The next thing I want to get is a freaking fucking GSX 1000. Put it on this thing, have a multi-speed Suzuki motor, hell yeah. So that's all for this video, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.